We'll be chatting with a first-time solo theme park traveler on episode 49 of the Theme Park Hipster Show. Hey, Theme Park Hipsters! It's your host, Nikki J, the owner of ThemeParkHipster.com, where I help you plan the best solo theme park vacation with the latest tips, reviews, personal stories, and more. Today, as usual, we have another spectacular episode just for you, where we're going to speak to a solo theme park traveler to be, because she hasn't done any before, and she's going to go over everything she's concerned about on her first Walt Disney World trip by herself. But first, I want to personally invite you to go over to the brand new Theme Park Hipster app. There you can find theme park planning tips, photos, videos, all these podcast episodes, and my favorite, the theme park trivia game, where you can, try to beat me with my score, see how well you know about theme parks in general, and Disney, of course, Universal. We even have some Busch Gardens up in there. So go over there and try to beat my score over at the Theme Park Hipster app. You can find that in the Apple App Store. Now back to the show. Our guest today is Shringalah, and she runs Midwest's in Disney Obsessed Instagram page, where she declares herself as an official Disney nerd, and she is a big fan of Moana. She is passionate about showing her Disney love to the world, and she has such a positive spirit on Instagram that I really love following her and looking at all of her photos. They're very colorful, and just her energy, guys. This is what a solo theme park traveler is made of. She's one of my favorite people, so let's not hold back any further and bring Shringalah to the show. Okay, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good now. I've let everyone know that you're about to make that first solo trip to Disney. But before we get into all that good stuff that I know everybody's waiting for, can you give me a little bit of your background and kind of how you got into the whole Disney fandom and theme parks and all that good stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I have probably been a Disney fan since the beginning of time. Literally. My parents were quite strict, so a lot of the Disney movies were the only things I was actually allowed to watch. So my siblings being at least 20 years older than me, I've seen a lot of the older ones. So I watched Mary Poppins before I watched, Winnie the Pooh. Mm-hmm. Although my first love, and I tell people this, my first friend was Winnie the Pooh. I fell in love. My whole room was decked out in Winnie the Pooh. I had the classic wallpaper. Yeah. So I always tell people my first best friend was Winnie the Pooh. Theme park wise, we where I live near Chicago. There is Six Flags, and I've always gone to water parks every year for my birthday up until I was probably 17. So I love roller coasters. The scarier the better, the faster the better.
Oh, wow. So you're up there near Cedar Point and all that stuff too.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay.
So do you often go to the Disney parks? Like when you were growing up, how often did you guys get to the parks?
So I do have family in LA. So when I was younger, I did get to go a little bit more often. It's funny because the trip that I just made in April to Disneyland was my first Disneyland trip in forever. So that was really nice to go as an adult because I haven't been back as an adult yet. And this trip coming up is actually my first Walt Disney World trip. So I'm super excited about that.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know it was your first Disney trip. I thought you've been there
it's
before.
my first Walt Disney World trip.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of firsts.
So I've done land several times. This is my first time back in a while. And then this is my first Walt Disney World trip ever.
Have you ever done any solo traveling, just any kind of solo traveling before?
No, actually. So I've flown by myself to meet up with friends, but not actually solo traveling. Usually my friends and I have friends from all over, so we end up meeting up at a place. So it's going to be interesting and fun.
So what made you take that leap to say, I'm going to do this? I'm going to go solo to Disney World where I've never been before?
So a lot of my friends are in grad school right now and starting like their careers up a little bit. So it was kind of hard to get everyone together for my birthday because I will actually be celebrating my 25th birthday at Walt Disney World. So I was just like, instead of fumbling with everybody, let me just go by myself. I'll enjoy myself anyway.
Oh my God, that is so courageous. That is like a big deal because I don't know, at 25, I think I went solo because of a similar situation. I didn't have anyone to go with, and I had to, like I say, when Harry Potter World opened, I had to be there. And
oh yes.
Yeah, so I just went by myself. Oh my gosh. So now that you're going to go, what kind of makes you the most scared about doing this Disney trip by yourself without your friends who are all in grad school?
So Disney's huge. Well, I've been to Disneyland, but Walt Disney World's even bigger, and I have to conquer all 4 parks in 4 days. So that is pretty scary. Just like, I know it's August, and I think that's the weekend before Galaxy's Edge or the week before Galaxy's Edge or something like that. So it's going to be crowded. I think the crowds and getting lost is what scares me the most. I'm just doing things alone. Like I said, it is my birthday, so I guess I'm just like, I wish I could celebrate with people. However, I take myself to the movies sometimes, so we'll have a good time.
Yes. And we all, the solo travelers on Instagram, we're going to have to come by and say hi so you can have some.
Oh, yes. Please come visit.
We will visit you. So now that you know about the size of Disney, and that's kind of like the thing that's, worrying you, what were some of the first things you did to start planning? Because I know it's like once you make that decision and you like, okay, I'm going to do this. What were like some of the things that you started doing to kind of get your plans going?
So I actually ended up, I guess, like stumbling into the Disney community via Instagram. I did not even know that was like really a thing. I thought it was just me enjoying Disney by myself. Aww. My friends were getting sick of me posting stuff. They were like, okay, we get it. You love Disney. So I stumbled among a lot of different pages. So Black Girl Disney, for instance, Dominique, that was like one of the very first people I talked to. And then I stumbled across like podcasts like yours. And I began to listen to pretty much I think I've listened to every single episode. And then, of course, YouTube, I looked at blogs.
Those are the best.
To just do my yeah. Oh my God. I've been on like a secret Tokyo Disney binge.
Oh my
blog.
Me too.
I'm obsessed with their merch. So yeah, I did my research that way. And then I looked on the website and I looked at prices. Again, I was very hesitant and was going to cancel this trip initially because I was like, oh, no one's coming with me. And so the more research I did, the more pricing I did. That's what really, I was like, you know what? Treat yourself. You only turn 25 once. I don't remember how I stumbled across the planner. It's like the Disney planners. But Trish Does Disney is amazing. Somehow I stumbled across her Instagram, messaged her about my upcoming trip, and every like piece of research I poured into her, every like, I want to do this. Oh, can we get a fast pass to this? Oh, can I stay here? Oh, this is the price point I'm looking at. She really did make it happen. And I'm a very much planner person. So the fact that she just like made my itinerary dreams come true, I love her.
Oh my God, that is so amazing to hear. And that is actually a great tip because when you're kind of going and trying to conquer Walt Disney World by yourself, it is good to kind of have that second pair of ears. Your planner is kind of like, yeah, I could do that. Oh yeah. And they'll help you kind of organize all your thoughts into something that's like you can do realistically. As far as like the budget, was she able to kind of like help you figure out what you could do within your budget?
Yes. So one thing I looked at, because I am doing one of the parks has extra like magic hours. So I figure most of my time will be spent in the parks. I will be there in the morning first thing, and I will be there when it closes. So one thing I didn't splurge as much on, I guess, would be like hoteling. There are some really awesome value hotels, actually, that they just renovated. There are a few things I splurged on. So like I am doing the Mickey Not So Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween because I won't be back in October to do it.
No,
But she definitely stayed within budget. She definitely stayed within budget. Like I knew there was a certain amount. I was like, I'm not spending over this. I cannot spend over this. And found me really good deals to add on to what I'm doing.
Wow, that's really good. And it's good that you are coming where you get to see Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And I'm okay with starting Halloween in August. I mean, I know some people are like, that's crazy, but it's Disney.
People have already started.
Exactly.
People are already posting. They're like, oh, Halloween? Yep. 100 days away. I'm like, wow.
What do you think you are looking forward to the most on this solo trip? Like, what's kind of like that one thing you expect to get out of a solo travel trip?
Mainly, I think conquering the fear of going alone on a solo trip is most important. Meeting new people, potentially. I hear you're always meeting people when you travel solo. I'm ready to conquer Epcot. And bringing in my birthday the right way. Those are my main goals for my solo trip.
Wow, that makes me that makes me so happy to hear, because I was telling you before we got on this chat that sometimes I go so much that I forget that first initial, you got to hype yourself up. You got to talk yourself into it. You got to be your own hype man just to go to the parks alone. And to hear that you're taking on a whole trip, not just the day at a theme park, like you're doing Disney by yourself. You're figuring out where you're going to eat, where you're going to stay, the rides you want to see, and you're going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. That is amazing. And I'm so proud of you for doing that.
And a great benefit too is like you're on your own time. Like you don't have to wait in line with other people. You don't have to wait for people to, use the restroom. You don't have to negotiate where to eat. So I appreciate that, especially since I'm vegan. So my dietary restrictions are a little different.
You know what? And when you come back, we're going to need all of your vegan tips for Disney.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
That is so wonderful to hear. Now that you're kind of ready to go, I see you have put on your stories that you were starting to pack. What's some of the things that you're thinking about bringing? Are you like a Disney bounder where you like to have everything all colorful and matching? Or you're more of like, let me just get a dope t-shirt and some beautiful makeup? What's your type of Disney preparation?
So I would like to try my hand at bounding. I've never done it. So I think you'll see. There's some things planned in there. However, I am very much like I used to work in makeup. I love to do a nice beat face appropriate for the weather because it's really hot, and a cute outfit according to each park. The one park I am having trouble with is Animal Kingdom, though. For some reason, that outfit I'm having trouble finding one.
There's a lot of people on Instagram. My girl June.
Oh yes,
June.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She'll hook you
amazing.
up.
she's my bounding goal.
Oh yeah,
like June.
She'll definitely give you some tips. Do you have any kind of other concerns that you're kind of thinking about for this trip, or you're just kind of like in hype mode because you're about to be here in a few weeks?
I know. I was just talking about that. Again, it's mainly taking on such a big park that I've actually never been in, and just like being alone. Obviously, there are some amazing people, like you said, the solo people. Feel free to come to Epcot on my birthday. But that's the main thing. Just getting there and getting over those nerves and enjoying myself.
That is wonderful. Now, guys, I just want you to know that this is just going to be the first of this whole thing we're going to do. When she comes back, we're going to kind of get an idea of how her trip went. Was it all that? Was solo travel overhyped? Or did she have a spectacular time? And it's something that she could think about doing in the future, and some tips that she can help you with when she comes back. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Now, if anyone wants to reach you, because, I've talked about your Instagram profile before you got on here, can anyone find you on Instagram, anywhere you want someone to reach you if they kind of are scared and they want to ask you any questions?
Yes, absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram at Midwest, the letter in Disney Obsessed. So, yeah, feel free to message me. I get back to everyone's messages.
All right, guys. Well, that is it. And she will be back in a few weeks to give us all the details about going to Disney solo for the first time.
All right. Thank you.
Now, guys, wasn't that such an amazing interview? This is only one of many. If you're ever thinking about going to a theme park solo, making that first trip, and you want to be on the Theme Park Hipster show, be sure to hit me up over at ThemeParkHipster@gmail.com because we want to hear some real stories. We want to hear what concerns you have, what bothers you the most about taking that first leap into your solo theme park journey. Also, if you have any tips or any comments, don't forget to go over into the Theme Park Hipster app where you can put your question up and get so many answers from solo theme park travelers, all a part of the app community. You can also call or text me at 407-906-0912, and we may feature one of your questions here or your voicemail here on the Theme Park Hipster Show. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast episode. That way others can find it and I can continue to bring you theme park hacks tailored just for you. And as you know, you are my friend and you are my family, whether you know that or not. And until next time, happy park hopping hipsters. The content on the Theme Park Hipster Show represents my own and not those of any organizations or activity mentioned. I am just someone here who likes to share my own stories to you and hope that I can help you have the best vacation ever.